Hey everybody, welcome to Creative Kickoff. My name is Wade Acuff, and today we're going to take a journey, a trip, a little bit exploratory adventure mode journey into After Effects, but we're going to take your graphics from basic to bold using some presets. That's right, some presets, some modifiers, some shape, layers. All of those things are all built into After Effects, and we're going to use them to make some hopefully heightened titles and graphics. But first, I want to say hi to chat. What's up, chat? I hope everybody can hear me fine. Let's get some grooves going. You may hear a cat in the background on occasion. She's very talkative today. But let's take a look at chat. What's up, Jack? What's up, Frank? Patrick, Robert, how's it going? Val, how you doing? Armand, Val, it's good to see everybody. All right, so let's jump into it. All right, so in After Effects, I have a couple of compositions. They're just open to basic compositions. There's nothing in them right now, but we're going to start with the type tool. Press Control T to get to the type tool. At least that's what's supposed to happen. There we go. And I'm going to type out, you might have seen on Adventure Bound, which was my show on Adobe Live. Let's see, do I even have it up? Okay, yeah, so I made this sticker. I'm going to be using Red Bluff as the title. We could use anything just to let you know, but if there's time, we're gonna make a little display for this sticker. But if there's not, just bear with me. There's a lot to get through. We may not get to everything, but let's go ahead and start. And let's see. So I'm going to type out, I'm going to type out Red Bluff. And the whole idea is to just use what's in After Effects to get started. And what I mean by get started is like, yeah, there's tons of presets. And we've probably used them from time to time, no big deal, but that's generally not where you want to keep things. I know that's how I tend to think. I'm always like, I'll never use a preset to start, but really they're just there to help. They're just here to kick off the project or whatever you're doing. And that's what we're going to do today. First, I'm going to talk about what's already built into text. As soon as you type something, you already have modifiers that are available for you. That are just sitting there waiting to be used. So if you hop over into your text tab, you have animate, and it gives you options to add these little animators. And I'll walk through a couple of these. Most of these are basic. The ones I'm going to deal with today are tracking, because that seems to be a common thing people want to animate. And we'll just add a real quick animation. You can do that by hitting the stopwatch. I don't want to do track type. I want to do tracking amount. If you don't know what tracking does, it can space or tighten up your letters like this. In fact, let's go ahead and align this a little bit. Okay, we're gonna pretend like this is a title. I don't know. So we've already got something going on here. I want to reverse this, so I'm just going to drag these out. I want it to be tracking wide at the beginning and then tighten up at the end. I'm going to select both of these and press F9 just to add some easy ease. And we're already off. We're already off. This would be a nice starting point for something. I don't know. But see, there's already animators built in. Let's add another one. And it does say animator here. So it lets you know. And I believe you can rename these. Yeah, you can rename these animators. You could call this tracking if you want. Let's add another one. I'm just going to add, you can also do it from here by property. And I'm going to go to blur. And then we can blur this out. But I'm going to do another quick little animation just to show you how easy this is to get started. And then I'm just going to make 2 of these frames and blur out the first frame. And then we can watch the animation come in. Cool. Simple stuff. Am I tracking them off the screen at the beginning? They are probably out of the safe zone, if that's what you're referring to. There are these safe zones, but this is just for an example. I probably would not use this as is, but let me turn that off so we're not distracted by that. But I wanted to show you that there is a range selector on this as well, which can start to mix up and add things. I'm going to start off by I've renamed my animator, so now it says tracking, but you can duplicate these by selecting Control D. I now have one that's called Tracking 2. Let me rename that because I want to, I'm just going to rename this back to Animator 2. In hindsight, that probably wasn't the best thing because what I'm about to do is track one part of it by just showing the that'll work. Range selector. So if you look up here, you can see as I hover, I can grab the range of where this is going to be. I have two of these now. I have two animators. So the first one, I want to just affect red, but I don't want any blur on this. So I'm going to just delete the blur, grab it, delete it, or try to delete it. There we go. And the second one is still affecting everything. So I'm going to do the same thing with it and grab its effector, but only bring it over to bluff. And so now when I play this back, you still get the tracking, but you only have the blur on and tracking on the bluff part of it. So we're already doing something super quick with these little add-on animators and that sort of thing. Let's get all the way back to just our red bluff, because I'm going to pop into presets real quick. I could undo all this all the way, or you can just grab the animator and deselect it. And you'll notice too, when you don't have the animator, you don't have the range selector, so you're not really able to do anything with it by its range. But if you want text, if you want text animators and presets, you can go to Effects and Presets, type in text, and you get lots of options under text expressions. Let's see, here's expression, there's mechanical. There are a lot more than these actually. Let's see, maybe a type. Yeah, there we go. So if I take that, there you go. There's a bunch there. They're all open now. I don't want all of these. I'm going to go ahead and take some of these out. But there are some that you can add. I'm not going to go through all these. Obviously, it would take all day. But just to show you how easy it is to start with something. If I wanted to add this text bounce, you can just drag and drop to the type you're wanting to affect, or you can bring it down to the layer. Either one works. And type this on here or drop it on there, and we'll do a little playback of it. And you'll get a little bouncy effect. Now, thing to note when you're adding these, and I will say that, you know, it is something to note. Know where your playhead is. Right now, if I hit U, which would reveal any of the keyframes we have, I don't have any keyframes because this is all run by an expression. Just mentioning that because some of these do operate through expression and keyframes. So just to let you know, that's how that works. Let's drag in this piston one at this time point. Let's see, is there any keyframes for this one? There are not. But now it's going to do something completely different. And then the piston takes over. I don't know where you would use this, but it's a starting point. That's the whole point of this. It's just a starting point. Let's see, let me check with chat. How's it going? Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in to Creative Kickoff. We're just getting started. We're just covering some presets. I mean, you can play with these all day long, but I would, again, just to reiterate, let me go in here. These are just a starting point. Like, if everybody used these as, I mean, some people do. You could use these as they are. I highly recommend going in and customizing this. It would be for the best. All right, so I want to add more to this red bluff. I want to, again, this was a little project where I went out to these hiking trails and made a little sticker. So I want to add another type element, Control T for your type tool again. And I'm going to type in nature. Nope, I want to type in nature hike, I think. Something like that. Let's see. All right. And then I don't want this font. So I'm going to change that. Oh, and just so you know, just to let everybody know, this font pack is the retro glamping font pack from fonts.adobe.com. You can find this on there, and it has a bunch of cool fonts. I'm going to use this Fenway Park font. We were using Cubano earlier. That's the other one that we're using. So I'm going to go ahead into my character, and let me turn this off. Just to let you know, you can go through here and select, and I have Fenway selected in my favorites. As a filter, you can turn on your favorites, and it is right here for me to use. So now all I have to do is select it. So for every project, I tend to pick out my fonts, leave them as favorites, because I have gone through the idea, or I've gone through the periods where I've had too many favorites, and then it's like, what's the point of having favorite options? So be sure to like do that per project. All right, so I'm just kind of lining these up here. And let's see, what do we need to jump to next? I think one of my favorite things with using type in After Effects is turning them into shape layers. And I'm going to do that by going to Create. I'm right-clicking on, you can either right-click here, or you can right-click on the layer itself. Go to Create Shapes from Text. And then it creates a shape layer. But if you look through the contents, it gives you every individual letter, right? Okay. The reason I mention that is because it's going to get kind of important, I guess. But just like with type, you see a little button over here that says add. Well, I mean, we can add all kinds of things. So I'm not going to cover a bunch of these, but I am going to go over the few of the ones that I like the most, or I use the most, I guess. One is repeater. I'm not going to be using that, but I did do a stream a while back. There's been tons of streams using repeater. It's very cool for like little, more like little burst effects and things like that, because it can really add just some randomness, I guess. But I'm gonna use trim paths for this. And first, you know what? I do want to add a stroke. Let's see. Can we get rid of our fill? Yeah. Okay. Click OK. Add our stroke. Click OK. And let's animate this trim path. Hey, what's up, Adari? How's it going? Let's see here. If you have any questions in chat, pop them in chat. Let me know. All right, so I'm going to show you what this does first. I'm going to start with, you know what? I'll do it on the end. I'll add a keyframe. Bump down here. Make this 100%. And we play this back. It draws on your outline. Now it does it with the fill too if you wanted to do it with the fill on, but it doesn't look as good. It usually has like I guess I could show you. I did turn it off. Let's see how easy it would be to make it work. Click OK. Yeah, and it could be fun. Like it does this. It's kind of cool as like it's drawing on, but I tend to use it more for the outline. So to let you know, that's a thing you can do. Now, the reason I wanted to use a script more than just for the looks, and I like the font, is you will run into this with script fonts. You've got your ending of the letters that are blending into the next letter. And you could, and I'll show you how to do this in a minute. You could go into Illustrator and make those changes, but there is another little thing here called merge path, and it will merge all the paths down. And I want to show you this too. You see how we got back to our little line there? Well, that's because our merge path isn't before where the trim paths is, if you drag it up above it. So there is an order to these things. So now it does draw differently, but I just wanted to let you know that that is a thing. You could do these as individual letters as well. You could get rid of all of these you could make a layer per letter if you would like. If you really want maximum control, you could do that. You can also set this to individually, but there is no more individual since the path is merged. But if I take this off, you'll see what individual does. So now it draws them on individually. And if you did want to go and take this into Illustrator, you could take this, right-click the original, hide this, right-click, create, mask from text. And it gives you mask. If I hit mask, you'll see that we have a bunch of masks here. And then you could just copy all of these. Here, let's see if I can get this back down to manageable. Copy all of these by even just selecting them. Control C. Oops, didn't mean to lock them all. You can Control C, take these into Illustrator, which I won't do because I've already done for us. And then bring it back in, which I'll do right now. In my library, I should have a nature hikes. And the reason I wanted to do this is to say that I just used I think I've used the shape builder tool, and I just combined some of these. But when you bring it back in, you're going to have to make, again, shapes to vector layer. And I believe I can, I'm going to change the stroke on this, click OK. Let's hide our fill for now. But I'm just pointing this out just to say, if you wanted to have this individual letter situation where you can tell that it's going into the next one, you can customize it. In fact, you could bring in any vector and do the same outline. Like people do it all the time with logos and all sorts of things. All right, back to our regularly scheduled programming. So I want to show you, we might get back to this. I do want to show you this real quick. Again, a lot of things I want to cover, but let's see. So another way to use now I'm losing track of which one is which. Okay, so merge path here. I'm going to take our animation off just so that we have this. And let's add in, let's bring back our fill. I'm going to change its color though. Something like this. And this is just like any offset path that you would have in Illustrator. I'm going to make a copy of this one. Use the bottom layer, use our add function here to add an offset path. And you can kind of see where this is going already. If I come down here and start manipulating the amount, just kind of scale this up. That's fine. I want to make this a little bit more visible on the outline. And let's go back to the other one and change the fill to something maybe darker. Something like that. And then let's say we wanted the outline to not be just a line. You can go in and affect the stroke and start adding a dash. Now, I did this in the attempts to make this look like a nature, a dotted line on a map type of thing. It kind of works. It's not dead on, but it kind of works. All right, so we're running out of time here. I wanted to show you how to use motion paths real quick. Again, I'm going to try to get as much in as we can. So, you know what? I don't like the fill on this. Okay, I like that a little bit better. I do want to add an outline. I'm just going to add a normal outline to this. 4 points is fine. Okay, I'm going to grab all of this and I'm going to do a motion path. If you ever want to make a step and repeat style animation or something in pre-compose that by Control Shift and C. So now we have that pre-composed. I'm going to go back into there. But if you ever want to make a step and repeat style animation or anything like that, this is an easy way to do it. I am just shrinking down our composition, and you'll find out why in a minute. I just press Control K to get to the settings. I'm going to click OK, go back to our comp. Let's see, and then go to Effect, Generate. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's do it through here because I don't remember where it is, which I love the effects panel for this. And motion tile, I'm going to grab it and drag it on here. And then I'm going to start changing our output width, and you can see what's kind of happening. I'm going to make this very large. 700, something like that. And then I do want to scale this down so that we can get a few more in the frame. And then rotate. I'm going to rotate this. Something that's still kind of readable. Maybe I'll add a background with Control Y. Let's put in a solid underneath this. Okay, perfect. Back to this. Now for the animation part, easy enough. Go to the tile center. You have your X and Y coordinate right here. I'm going to press U so I can bring up my keyframes. And then I'm just going to drag this, I don't know, a little bit. We'll see what it looks like as it animates. So now you have a Red Bluff nature hike. It's kind of chugging through this with the RAM. But you get the idea. You can also offset this by the phase, so that you can stagger these. Really pretty easy. I mean, you could even do this large enough that if you want to take a screenshot and, you know, make it printable, you could. I wouldn't do that out of After Effects, but just saying, it's there, it's available. You could also animate the phase if you wanted to. Just imagine this being animated. You could do that. And then for this example, I would just bring on, you know, whatever I'm trying to sell here, I would guess. Something like that. And then you could say, hey, go buy my sticker, blah, 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 blah. There you go. Let's see. We have a little bit of time left. Let's see if I can get to this one. So this is another title treatment. And again, we're using Red Bluff altogether. Let's see. All right, so this one's, it's a little bit different. It's not quite a preset, but it sort of is, because we're going to use our track mats. Again, right click. I want to make this a shape from text. And I'm going to make 3 copies because I'm just going to do this for the red. I don't think we're going to have time to do it for all of them. I'm going to open all of these up with contents, with the contents laid bare for us to see. And I'm going to turn off ED on the first one, turn off RD on the second one, and turn off RE for the third one. Then I'm going to bring in some footage. Now, this is footage that, yeah, there we go. I'm going to bring that down below everything. I'm going to turn the sound off so that it doesn't blast your ears out. But this is a little short film thing that I made for the Red Bluff hike. And you probably know where this is going to go. I'm going to go ahead and make 3 copies of this. And naming helps a lot here, but I'm going to start adding this by track mat, and it's going to use the letter shapes as our mat. So I'm going to just pop these out here. Oh, vice versa, I believe. Yep. So I want to, let's see, how do we do this? Track mat. There we go. There we go. All right, so now we have our footage in there, and it's all the same footage right now, which is fine. Let's say we grab all of it, pull it down a little bit more to size. You could leave it blown up, you know, that way if you wanted, but if you really want to specifically have things in there, and you could do it like this, where it's one solid. You know, you kind of see everything, or you could mix it up a little bit since they're all different now. You could drag them to different times in the composition, which is what I'm going to just do. I'm just dragging these over. So now they all play something different. Just might be some fun way to add a little bit of life to your titles, to your effects. I hope in this kind of whirlwind of, hey, look what you can do with presets, that you grab something that will spark some creativity for you. But that is going to do it for us today. Thanks everybody for hanging out. There's a lot more video and motion goodness to come the rest of the day. So stick around for that, and I hope to see you soon. Bye everybody.